BodyBags, where horror lies.
Hey guys, Rob from Georgia here with you. I'm your Wednesday evening host here at BodyBags. It is week 381. It is random week, and so I thought I'd continue on my theme of haunted ships, boats, that kind of storyline. And so the first, if you remember, was the boat. And so I thought I would tap into a series this time around that I don't really know that much about, but man, I wish I would have grabbed that coffin set of the Tombs of the Blind Dead series franchise that had come out some years ago. Missed out on that, unfortunately. But from Amondo de Ossorio, I was able to grab one of the Blue Underground releases of the Ghost Galleon. It is the third, this is from 1974, the third entry into this series. And I read a little bit about about the movie in general, not really knowing what I was getting into. I might have seen the first movie, but that was so long ago. So really tapping into a series starting with number 3 can be sort of odd. But it is a haunted galleon, or filled with the Templar Knights, right? Some zombies on a ship interdimensionally and all this good stuff. And so I thought I'd, take a crack into it. And, overall, I got a kick out of it. I really enjoyed it. The first half an hour or so does go a bit slow, but once they're on the galleon and once, people start becoming hunted by the Templar Knights, it does get really, really good. Now, a little bit I read about it was, and we see this with a lot of franchises where number 3, and sometimes number 2, will just go off in a totally different direction and just do something different in order to kind of spice things up a little bit or whatever. Do you think of Friday the 13th Part 3, and the Hockey Mask, right? Or Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, that anthology, what was supposed to turn into an anthology series annually. You see this, right? And so the Galleon apparently was another departure. In the first 2 films, we get to see this Templar Knights in action on land. And from what I hear, some of it is pretty spooky, atmosphere is great, the Knights generally look pretty good. But here, unfortunately, Ossorio had his budget about cut in half, so he didn't have the money he was working with, and so, when you see this ship sometimes, it really does sort of look like a model ship in a bathtub with some smoke around. But when you're on the ship, on set, or however it is that they pull this off, the set design is actually really, really, really good. Kind of spooky some areas when you get into scenes where the Knights, where the Templars start coming out of their tombs and start hunting down these people who are on the ship. It does get a little creepy at times. The music helps here and there, and so basically what you have in this third piece, if you've never seen it, is you got this rich business entrepreneur who is showcasing a new line of ships or boats. And so they scheme up this promotional gag where they send a couple models out on one of the boats to sort of stage a "we're lost at sea" type thing. And then, of course, when they find them, the news or the headline will be, "They survived in one of my boats." And so this will help sell, the boats, right? Well, what happens instead is when they're out there on the water, they cross paths with this haunted galleon. Of course, their boat gets hit, starts taking on water. They eventually get out of it, go into the galleon, which bad things are just going to happen. Eventually, this rich business guy decides he's got no choice. He gets together sort of a rescue team effort, heads out on water to locate them and try to rescue them and salvage this debacle, I guess. And so, of course, things pretty much don't have happy endings, at least in this film. I'm not sure how they end in the other 2, so I won't speak. But I will say there were some scenes, man, that really had me up on edge of my seat, just really taking in the atmosphere, taking in just the idea of what he was trying to do. And and it's one of those movies, I've said this before in other reviews, it lends itself to your imagination in that you just like, man, this is what I want. There are times in the movie that you just say to yourself, man, this is what I want in a haunted Galleon type movie, you know, or, you know, out on the water with the fog and people, you know, maybe they're trapped interdimensionally, horrifying things are happening on the ship, and it's just, you know, it's a fun ride. And so a lot of the makeup effects, the special effects, in terms of the look of the Templars is pretty cool. It's, you know, it's got a cheesy, you know, Chris would definitely say this has this is probably pretty high on the cheesometer, as he likes to put it. But man, it does make me want the rest of these movies, the Tombs of the Blind Dead and Return of the Blind Dead, and I think Night of the Seagulls is the last one. And they're out there. It's just a matter of bringing them in. But I really did enjoy the Ghost Galleon. This was a fun movie, and it does lend itself to repeat viewing. It's just sometimes, man, you know, sometimes when you know the director was up against the wall and there were certain things he wanted to do, but certain things he just could not do, you got to kind of take certain things in stride and just enjoy what he was able to pull off. And I think this is one of those films. I know it's well, it's, you know, it's high up on you know, some people's list in terms of the overall arc of the Tombs of the Blind Dead franchise, and then it's low on other people's marks. And I'm sort of feeling my way through this series, so I'd say, you know, for this third entry, regardless of what others may or may not think, I found it an enjoyable watch. A little slow in the beginning, but once you get in, things start to pick up and a little bit, and the end is great. I absolutely love the end. So the Ghost Galleon, as I continue to look at haunted ships on water, if not island horror, then ship horror. I do love watching a good movie that takes place on a ship, especially a haunted ship. And I will say this too, this movie, there are sequences that confirm to my mind that there is a bit of Ossorio in that newer movie that came out, The Nun. Towards the end, when you've got those nuns sort of collecting up in a group, massing up, you just get the imagery is very Ossorio-like. I mean, that movie is rich in a lot of minor nods to Bava and Fulci and others, and unfortunately, the director of The Nun just didn't take a lot of these sequences to their logical end and really amp it up. What we get is just a taste of a bit of Italian horror sprinkled into that film. So the Ghost Galleon, have you checked it out? What do you think about the series overall? You know, how quickly should I be going after this thing? Let me know. Drop a comment down below. Also, too, be on the lookout. I'll probably drop a link down below. But I've been working on what I'm calling the essential archive of the entire BodyBags, the history going all the way back to week number 1. Of course, we're at week 381 now. Soon to hit that 400th week. But BodyBags has been around for 6 years in counting now. And at this point, I got the first 100 weeks logged in. I think there's 611 films reviewed in the first 100 weeks, and just a cast of characters. Some of these guys, of course, have gone on to form podcasts and other things. And so that is just a hobby of mine that I am working on. My goal was by Christmas to have the entire thing. I don't know if I'll get there or not. But I think the fact that I got at the 100 week mark is pretty significant. There are a lot of reviews in there, man. A lot of reviews. So I'm working on that. We got a good rest of this month. Winter horror at the end of the month. And I got one more movie I'm going to take a look at for my haunted ship theme here in December. So all my hopes, all my prayers out to each and every one of you as COVID starts to really amp itself up a little bit. It just, things are getting more difficult again, depending on where you live. So all my hopes are with each and every one of you. I appreciate and thank each and every one of you for dropping in, for watching these reviews. Each and every day we get a new guy who's dropping a review. And again, this week is random week. And so keep checking this out, and I appreciate it, man. BodyBags, man, 381 weeks. We would not be around if it wasn't for you. And so I appreciate so much just the support this channel has gotten in the past, presently, and hopefully looking on forward down the road. man, all my best to each and every single one of you. Just continue onward. As always, we end these things off with Go Bills.
This is not a dream. Not a dream.